everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the Anime Podcast Show. Another week and another history of anime. For today's episode I'm going to be covering about anime in the 2010s. So, in the past, I talked about the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s in Japan. And for this video, like I just mentioned, I am talking about the 2010s. So, in this decade marks the beginning of a major shift in the industry, with the rise of the streaming services and the influence on anime's global expansion. Let's dive in to the shows that airs from 2010 to 2019 and how they became a global phenomena, well, more globally like it was back in the day. So let's take a look what shows that aired in that decade. Entering the new era, it would start off with this anime series that kicked off the 2010s, is Durarara. That started airing in January 2010. It started as a light novel, then turned into an anime adaptation for 2 seasons. It kind of made success, but as a cult classic. Might as well have to add something to it. Durarara marked a turning point in the anime landscape of the 2010s, where unique storyline and unconventional narratives found their place in the hearts of minds of the viewers. As the next series is going to mention about, well, it will impact and change the magical girl genre into a supernatural series. It follows a group of middle school students led by protagonist Madoka Kaname, who becomes a magical girl to protect from witches. That series is Madoka Magica series. It seems strange that this series is 10 plus years old. Somehow it's already 12 years since the series aired in January of 2011. After that, with its groundbreaking success, it expanded beyond the initial series, morphing into a franchise from films, mangas, and even spin-off series. It's hard to believe that over a decade has passed since Madoka Magica first graced our screens. Even today, it continues to be held as one of the greatest television anime series of the 21st century. Taking apart what this next series is going to talk about, well, this series, I wasn't planning to talk about it because I'll get pissed by the fandom if I didn't edit it for the best of the 2010s anime. So, here I am, going to talk about it. I've heard about this series, but never watched it. But if you guys would recommend me to watch it, I'll take a look at it. So, this series' genre or themes is time traveling, human nature, gender identity, and its perspective on PTSD as considered one of the best anime series of the 2010s, known as Steins Gate. It adapts visual novel game. The year sets in 2010. It follows protagonist Rentaro Okabe, who together with his friends accidentally discovers a method time travel through which they can send text messages to the past, thereby changing the present. Man, that's some freaky shit of a psychological thriller. With the success from the visual game, it spawned additional sequels, and those sequels turned into video games. Then got a manga adaptation, then they have their own anime adaptation, then their own feature film, and spin-off series. Now to one of my favorite series that was dubbed by Bang Zoom Entertainment. It's a dark fantasy manga series. So in this series, we discover as the fandom that we have 2 sons, Rin Okumura and Yukio Okumura. The sons are Satan. So what I am talking about? Well, I mentioned the characters' names. Blue Exorcist. It started off as a manga series from April 2009, and to this day, the manga is still going after 25 volumes. Then, to an anime adaptation that got aired in 2011. However, an intriguing twist awaited fans during the show's first season. As the anime progressed, it surpassed the manga storyline, prompting the studio to create a filler arc to maintain the show's momentum. This decision left fans anxious for the manga's next chapters to be adapted. Then 6 years later, in 2017, a second season is on the horizon. That got premiered January 2017. That will be adapted the Kyoto Saga. It delved deeper into the captivating world of Exorcist, marking a triumphant return for the series. However, despite the hiatus that followed, fans were overjoyed when finally, after 5 years later, in 2022, it was announced at Jump Festa 23, Blue Exorcist would make its grand return for a third season. And I'm still freaking excited, and I'm glad it's coming back and still having hopes them adapting a long-awaited The Illuminati saga. But as of this video comes out, we already got the release date for the Illuminati saga, and it will premiere next month in January. I am super excited for it. I don't know what the premise of the story will be, but I wonder what they're gonna put in the table to see our favorite characters again. And I cannot even believe it's been 12, 11 years since the show aired. I'm going, wait, what? That's a very long time. But I'm still hoping the English cast will come back to reprise their roles for this particular season. To the next series I'm going to talk about is taking place a decade prior to the main events of an intriguing tale, Something with Fate. Did I say it? Yes, it's Fate Zero. Fate Zero takes place 10 years before the events of the main story, Fate Stay Night, and serves as a prequel to the Fate series, telling the story of the Fourth Holy Grail War and explore the origins of the legendary war. The series came out in October 2011 as the third anime production of the Fate series from Fate Stay Night 2006 series and the Unlimited Blade Works movie. That came out in 2010. During the run, the series took a brief hiatus to ensure the best possible animation quality. The series spanned 2 cours. The first run aired from October to December 2011, to the second run aired from April to June 2012. Since it came out, Fate Zero has granted critical acclaim from the fandom of the franchise. It offers a unique opportunity to dive in the backstory of the Holy Grail War began decades ago before Shiro Emiya took a part of the war in the main story of Fate Stay Night. After a long hiatus of several decades since the airing of Part 3 in 1985, a legendary character is set to make a triumphant return to television, our beloved Master Thief, Lupin III. He's back in action in a thrilling new series titled The Woman Called Fujiko Mine. This highly anticipated comeback brings fresh excitement to fans who have been waiting for Lupin's return. The Woman Called Fujiko Mine series tells the story of Fujiko's backstory as she undergoes various missions and encounters with Lupin, Daisuke Jigen, Goemon Nishikawa, and Inspector Zenigata. What a way to kick off the franchise after a long hiatus, except for the movies and television specials. That's been around since 1989 until 2019, near the time after Monkey Punch's passing. At least, it introduced a new audience all over the world, it ensuring that the legacy of Lupin would continue for years to come. It has gotten pros and cons, but stepping into the world of gaming, stepping into a virtual reality MMORPG game known as Sword Art Online. The franchise has run for, until this day, it's been running for a very long time. It starts off with the light novels, then still running after passing 25 volumes, then an anime adaptation that would be produced by A1 Pictures, that the first season aired between July to December 2012, with their television special SAO Extra Edition aired on New Year's Eve 2013. Then a second season aired on July to December 2014. Then their first official feature film, Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale, and that's when the timeline started. Then, trying something as a spin-off series titled SAO AGGO, aired on April to June 2018. Months later, aired Alicization, a long-awaited third season that was aired in 2018 until 2020. Then making a decision by the studio to make 2 feature films based on progressive storylines adapting from the light novels. Sword Art Online has received a widely spread commercial success from the anime series and had impacted the anime culture from their storylines, captivated audiences around the world. Next series I want to talk about is a series never gotten a television series adaptation after 25 years since its publication began. Now, finally, it's here. In 2012, That series is JoJo Bizarre Adventure. The premise of the show is telling the story of the Joestar family, a family whose various members discovered that they are destined to take down a supernatural foes using powers that they possess. The story is splitting up into unique parts, each following a member of the Joestar family. The story starts off with the adapting with Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency for the first season, then for the second season, adapting Stardust Crusaders, then the third season, Diamond is Unbreakable, then the fourth, Golden Wind, and the current season that they aired, well, not aired, but streaming it on Netflix, that was Stone Ocean, the last season. To this day, the franchise and the legacy impacted the anime industry. It has left indelible mark on anime culture, solidifying its place as a beloved and influential series. With its unique art style with a complex storyline and memorable characters, JoJo captivated audiences worldwide and also pushed the boundaries of what anime can achieve and as became a truly cultural phenomenon within the anime community. If you are a fan of cyberpunk, this series is for you. It's an original anime series produced by Production IG. It takes place in the future kind of a Blade Runner series. It's called Psycho-Pass. The first season aired from October 2012 to March of 2013, and by the general audiences in both Japan and internationally, as it's an acclaimed series, and the studio decided to make more with seasons 2 and 3, including adding it to its movies in 2015, a trilogy films in 2019 and 2020, and their recent movie that came out July ago, 2023. The popularity grew as becomes as one of the best anime series of the 2010s. Speaking about the best animes of the 2010s, this series is one of them. It sets in the post-apocalyptic world where the remains of humanity live behind walls, protecting them from giant humanoid titans. Welp, I said it. Yes, it's Attack on Titan. Can't say too much about it. In the very beginning, it's so damn good due to the hell of a story taking the story into a dark themes, but the much I really enjoyed is Season 3, because of their twists and turns, and mostly Part 2 of Season 3 has been the best, because Eren and the rest are seeing the secretly of Titans and see the truth until it will hit the time skip. That's the most I got confused about. If you want to criticize me, go ahead, do that. I don't really like Season 4. That's my own damn opinion. Now, to the next series I want to talk about is one of my favorite series, actually, and this series came out in 2013, As the Devil is Working at McDonald's? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So this series is called Devil is a Part-Timer. The whole plot of the show is Mao, Satan, is conquered the world of Anti-Isla. But when confronted by the hero Emilia, he is forced to retreat through a gate that transports him to a modern-day Tokyo, Japan. Now in Tokyo, Mao and Ashia must adapt to their new surroundings and find a place to themselves. In a stroke of irony, they decide to make their apartment as their castle, as Mao has founded a part-time job at McDonald's, where he found himself a new friend and fellow employee, Chiho. As an average high school student, and it appears out of nowhere, seeing Emilia the hero, and actually she followed them as well, and keep an eye on them until just when things couldn't get more interesting. Lucifer, or Urushihara, a former demon general, enters the scene. He becomes an unexpected ally to Mao, Ashia, and Emi, offering his assistance and insights into the workings of the human world. But the surprises don't end there, until Mao has a new neighbor, Suzuno, or Crestia Bell, and she's from Anti-Isla as well, and becomes another ally. The story unfolds and explores the personality of each of the characters and their moral values. With Devil's a Part-Timer franchise has started as a light novel came out in 2011 until finishing their story in 2020 for over 30 volumes. Then adapted for a manga adaptation, then made a spin-off series here and there, and then finally an anime adaptation as the first season aired between April to June 2013 until it becomes a long-awaited second season, and it took them how long? almost a decade, so 8 to 9 years later, until finally they announced in March of 2021 it would air later in 2022. And now, airing season 2 from July to September 2022, with a conclusion of season 2 it's been confirmed a sequel is coming as a third season. But it's not a third season, it's a second season, part 2, second core. So by the time you see this video, that season is already ended. So I don't know, we're going to get an official season 3, but who the hell knows. So this one aired between July to September 2023. And to be honest, this has been one of my favorite series. And I'll talk about this show for a future episode on the podcast show. And beloved series as a one single season known as Kill la Kill. This series produced by Trigger as their first anime project to work on, and to the basic of the story is about a vagrant schoolgirl, Ryoko Matoi, on her search for her father's killer, which brings into a violent conflict with Sasuke Kiryu as they both obtain sailor uniforms as it gives them superpowers. This series came out between October 2013 to March 2014. To be honest, this show is insane, but we have an amazing and best English dub. Thank you Aniplex of America and Bang Zoom to dub it. Another series have one single season as you're living in the sea village Shio Shishio, have to attend junior high school in the service. And we will introduce these 4 characters named Hikari, Monika, Chisaki, and Kaname in Along the Sea. I'd watched this series during the lockdown. It's always been my favorite. And I didn't even know this series aired in 2013 from October to 2014 and airing for 26 episodes. And also, they have an incredible dub as well, and their incredible cast killed it as always by Bang Zoom Entertainment.